You see, what happens is this then, that an individual who all his life long has played the social game is then says, well, now I've done that. I've assumed this role, I've become identified with Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Sailor, whatever it was. But now who am I? Really? In order to find that out, I have to go off by myself. Why? Because you have a role conception, a mask conception of yourself, because other people tell you who you are.
If belief is a construct, then like any other construct, it can be manipulated and changed. And at any moment, you can choose to believe something new about yourself. Now, the weird thing about belief is as soon as you change that belief, it becomes true.
Well, man, because I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves, actually. You know, I think it's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because you know, we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself?
Most determining factor of the quality of your life is predicated upon your mindset.
The easiest thing I do every year, ladies and gentlemen, is earn millions of dollars. That's the easy part. Speaking to corporations, that was easy to do. Let me tell you what it took me years to do, was to believe that I could do it. That's the biggest thing that you will have to overcome. I would go see these various speakers, and I would sit back and watch them. And I would start going to the car, be fired up. I said, I could do that. And my mind then would say, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. You've never worked for a major corporation. Les Brown, you can't do that. You never had any experience doing things like this before. You don't know the right people. You don't have the complexion of connection. Why would someone hire you? Why would someone hire you to teach them and to motivate them to do something that you have never done? Be practical, be realistic, be logical. It can't be done. You have no credentials. And so based upon that, I didn't even attempt to do it.
Life has no duplicate, as Jerry Jackson would say. And so you want to do life on your terms. You want to do you. You want to live each day as if it were your last and give it everything you have. And that's what I'm focused on. At my 77th year on the planet is to finish strong and to do things that will impact my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and live a life that will outlive me. As we look at now where we are, there's a reckoning that's going on. And this is an incredible time to really turn things to your advantage. And there are a lot of people right now are looking and asking the question, what's next? Because life is disruptive, but also in the process, it's transformational. Because when there's a disruption, you have to transform yourself to accommodate the disruptions. You don't want to just be a victim or a witness. You want to be engaged and on top of your game in order to go to that next level. And New York requires that. The world requires that right now more than ever before. I asked a young man who was taking my bags, I said, what's your passion? He said, my children. He said in a split second. That grabbed me because that's where I'm coming from. My children, that's my passion. The things that I do to generate money, that's one thing. But my passion is to help my kids have the tools they need to live a meaningful, successful, impactful life, to be an asset to the world rather than a liability. And I know many of you feel the same way. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, and look at what do you want to do? How many of you are hungry for greatness? Let me see some hearts up in here.